Banana, banana, may I introduce you to my good friend Frankenstein. Anyways, wrong month. Happy New Year. This is a video just demoing suturing on pig foot. Pig feet, pigs in general have skin density very close to ours, so they're good for practicing on certain surgical things. For example, I have a couple of videos on fish hook removal, and so I've embedded fish hooks in the pig skin, and I'm show you how to get rid of a fish hook that's embedded in your skin. In this particular example, I'm showing how to suture or stitch or basically close a wound. Now, these are store-bought pig's foot. I didn't personally butcher any pigs, and they normally will cut them in half or quarter them. This was cut right in half. So I sutured below it here just to hold it together, and then I ran some stitches to hold it together, and then I'm going to show you how to isolate the wound and kind of stitch the wound together. So one thing in my last video on this, combat medicine, emergency first aid, and that's if you don't have medical care within immediate vicinity for a while. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an EMT. I'm not a paramedic, medic, nurse, or nurse practitioner. None of that. I'm just educating myself on how to do this in case I can't, get to somewhere. I'm also showing my daughter how to do that, so if she needs to do it on me in a place where I can't reach, she can do it on me where I can't reach, and vice versa. So if you have somebody on your team or in your home or in your group or whatever, at least two people should know how to do suturing so that you can do it on one another in places where you can't reach. Suturing, that is, from what I'm studying or checking out, is really, there's a science and an art to it. There's deep wound suturing that uses dissolvable materials like catgut or polychloric I'm going to butcher this. At any rate, look it up. I'll put some links below, but there are some dissolvable sutures that once the wound is closed, you have to stitch the tissue beneath the opening of the wound, and then once it's closed, then over time the body will just absorb it and you'll be just fine. This is just real quick and dirty, which is kind of how I like it, using what they call a simple interrupted stitch. There's different types of stitching. There's different types of sizes of sutures, depending on where the wound is, whether it's on the bendy part, whether it's on the face, an eyelid, larger muscle group area. Again, like I said, there's an art and a science to it, and there's a whole world to suturing. That again, it's one of those things that once the more you know, the more you know you don't know. Okay, the more you know, the more you know you don't know. So it's just one of those things. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Again, I never went to medical school. I thought maybe at one point I might want to become a veterinarian, as that I do love animals, but I'm not. I didn't go down that path. At any rate, this is my attempt at suturing here, and I'll walk you through it briefly. Again, in my last video, I showed you the Suture Kit that I got online on basically Amazon.com, and it comes with the tools that you need, equipment. I've got some scissors, I got forceps, I got some tweezers that will help me with that. They also supply the sutures that you would need, and the sutures come in. And I bought some extra ones, again, all from Amazon. And there's silk, polyester, nylon, monofilament, and braided silk here. So there's different types, and there's different sizes. They can get really small. This is like a medium size. It's number 5 here. 2 is a little smaller. So on and so forth, and then it gets up to I think it's like negative 10-0 or something like that. And that's really, really micro. That's really tiny, tiny, tiny. So, again, there's different sizes. I'm just trying to keep a general, just general across the board. I don't expect to be doing any brain surgery or anything like that, but you know, for a decent gash or a decent cut, which will and can happen in an SHTF situation, or heck, any situation even around the house. But like I said, you know, if you have access to the hospital, go see a doctor. Don't try to do this and say I showed you to do it and you don't need no medical attention. No. This is just need to know knowledge. Not need to know. This is good to have knowledge for just in case. You know, if the scenario is that there's not going to be medical attention for days, or you're miles and miles away from any medical attention, and the person is liable to bleed out or suffer some major infection, and you have the materials that you need, there you go. You would have it. So, you know, so again, I'm going to provide a link so you can go do your own research, and my reference is the Doom and Bloom website. This Doom and Bloom website that is hosted by Dr. Alton and Nurse Amy. So this information I am getting from medical professionals. And what they focus on is they focus on emergency medicine and first aid, as well as their supplies. So they have a website where you can, you know, if you got $1,000, you can get you $1,000 freaking pack, med pack, emergency med pack that would also include dental supplies. You know, you can get your mouth busted or your jaw broken or something like that. So I implore you to go to that site. I'm just using this as a reference and as inspiration, and to give you an idea of kind of how this is done. But Dr. Alton, he's the expert. Go to his site, get that information, and you know, and of course, I'm sure on YouTube and all around this wild world wide web. I can't talk today. It's first day of the year, and I can't talk. The World Wide Web, you know, there's tons of information you'll be able to find, but this is just what I thought was very pertinent, to the point, and at least it's a starting point, it's a baseline. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you briefly how to suture up a wound. So as you can see, I've covered up our wound area, or our wound, our leg, our foot here. Just covered it up to isolate the area that needs to be worked on and to keep it as sterile as possible. Again, I'm just using kind of like some sheet material to demonstrate the concept. So, you know, there would be some sterile material in your kit that you would use to cover the area here. So again, I've got some gloves to protect my hands and also to keep from spreading infection. These are definitely not sterile. So again, you want to see if you can have the necessary sterile elements in your kit. Okay, but I do want to have some gloves on here. And then, so first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the area with iodine and or some sort of solution that would clean the area, you know, alcohol, etc., etc. So I've got some iodine here, and I just kind of want to clean the area. Okay, and I'm just kind of demoing it. Okay. I'm going to get up in there after you wash the wound thoroughly. Okay. So that's the area that we're going to be working in. So you want to clean that area. Alright, so now I'm going to open up our suture kit here. This is going to be number 5 polyester, and just take this, drop that on there, discard that. Can open up the kit here. It has the suture. Falls open like this, and then open this up. not that difficult. I'm making it difficult. All right. Go ahead and just I'm gonna drop the polyester down. So I'm gonna be using this number 5 polyester, and then I have my forceps here. I've got my scissors. I got my scissors here, forceps here, and I've got my tweezers here. And these tweezers have nice little teeth on them to help you grab the skin. I'm gonna take the forceps, and I want to grab the needle, and I'm grabbing it underhand. The needle is a hook shape. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. It's a hook shape. Alright, and I'm grabbing it with my hand underhand. Okay, so I want to take my forceps up here for the first stitch, right? So, and then I'm going to zoom in. So I want to take my forceps, and I want to grab the dermis, and I want to kind of run the needle in to the skin, like so, there, and then keeping my hand in the same position, underhand it, I want to go ahead and grab the needle from the other side and pull it through. Okay, I want to continue to do that. Make sure that this nylon doesn't, or this polyester doesn't bind up on us. We have to adjust the needle to run it again on this side. So I'm pulling up the skin with my tweezers here, and I want to run the needle upward like so. Okay, and I just want to pull the thread through, not so that it goes all the way through, but just enough. Now I can place the needle down here, and then I'm going to grab the thread. We're just doing a simple interrupted suture or stitch. So simple interrupted suture. Okay, so to tie this off, I'm going to do this zoomed out, and then I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, but I want to take the longer end, and I want to wrap it around my forceps 3 or 4 times and grab the shorter end, and then I want to just pull everything through like so. That's the first tie. Okay, and then I want to do this again. I can just go around once or twice this time, and then grab the shorter end and then pull through. Okay, so that's one knot. I want to do 3 to 4 of these. And that's 2, and then we can do 3. Okay, and at least for this part of the demo, I'll just do 4, just for good measure, to make sure it locks in. It depends on where the wound is. If it's in a high stress area or a bendy area or something like that, you may want to make sure that it doesn't come undone. So next I want to take my scissors here, and then I want to just go ahead and snip the ends here. Discard that, and we're ready for our next stitch. So I'm going to do it again, and hopefully you can follow along. Hopefully the lighting isn't that bad. So I'm going to go down a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch. Pick up the dermis. Thread this through. Pull that free. Okay, and then I'm going to tie this off. One, two, three, and then four. Okay, so that's basically real quick and dirty how you would do uninterrupted stitch. Now I'm going to give a close-up so that it's real clear exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I zoomed in a little bit and I'm switching off to a suture that is a little darker in color so that the thread is a little easier to see. So I'm going to go down about 1/4 of an inch or so from the last suture here, last stitch. I'm going to lift up the dermis so that I can then thread the needle through, like so. And I want to pull this through underhanded. And then go to the other side of the wound, lift up the dermis of the skin, and thread it through again. Sometimes the needle wants to turn on you, so I'm just adjusting it so I can go in at the proper angle. And then lift up. And now I'll just pull the thread through. Okay, so we've got a little twist going on here. I want to get rid of that. There. Okay. There's complications will happen, I reckon. So you just have to take your time. Alright, so now we're at the end. I pulled this through, so to knot it off, I want to take my longer end of the thread here. I'm going to take my tip of my needle, tip of my forceps, and I want to wrap it around like 4 times or so. Especially with this nylon, which is basically plastic. It wants to misbehave, so you kind of have to wrangle it in. So grab the shorter end, and actually I can kind of pull a little bit more through. Now I can grab the shorter end and then pull everything down and tight to close the wound. Okay, we did it about 4 times so that it'll hold, it'll lock down. And then I'm gonna do this a couple of more times. I'm just wrapping maybe once or twice to make a knot. That's 1 knot. That's 2 knots. So the thread is wrapped around the forceps like so. I want to go down and I want to grab the shorter end, which is here, and then I just want to pull everything through, and let me go ahead and pull the rest of this end here all the way through like so. That's 3. And then lastly, and that's 4. Okay, then we can take our scissors and cut the end there like so. Okay, so again, I'll do this again. So I'm going to go down a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch from the last stitch, pick up the dermis, thread the needle through, go to the other side, thread it through the dermis on the other side. Okay, now we're ready to knot off. So I want to wrap this around 3 to 4 times. Grab the short end, pull everything through, and lock it in. And then I can just do it once or twice. Grab the short end, lock it in, grab the short end, lock it in, and that's twice, 2 more times. You want to knot it 3 to 4 times again, like I said. Alright, so hopefully that came out well, at least visible. Again, I would implore you to go to doomandbloom.com and get Dr. Alton's suture video and kit. That's where I'm regurgitating this information from. I got a practice suture kit that I've been working with past couple of weeks to get comfortable with the coordination and the handling of the needles and the tools, and to practice in the different wounds. So we'd go down, I'm going to adjust this a little bit so we have a couple of more stitches that we could add here, and we'll be pretty much done.